I want to go ahead and I want to start talking about what James Gunn is cooking. What James Gunn's been cooking with his fellow collaborators over there at Warner Brothers, over there at DC. And in case you guys don't know, I have been a very big fan of what James Gunn has done with DC. Really, ever since obviously the Suicide Squad. I actually really recently watched it. Katria, my girlfriend, she never watched the Suicide. She only watched Suicide Squad, which is like, such a fucking tragedy. That movie's a goddamn dumpster fire. However, she had never seen the Suicide Squad, so we watched that, and it was like just reaffirms that I'm like, yep, James Gunn knows exactly what he's doing. Obviously, we actually recently started Peacemaker. We watched the first episode of that. She's really into that right now, and she's looking forward to watching Creature Commands, which I've been watching. And it just kind of leads to like the conversation for Superman, which obviously James Gunn, he's directed and he's written this upcoming film. It's supposed to be like the first kind of theatrical start for the DC And I've been really excited for it, and I've been excited for it ever since, really, because everyone has concerns, like, I don't think he's the right person for it, I want Henry Cavill for it, whatever, and the reason why I've just been so excited for it is it's just based on, like, one statement he made, like, probably over a year ago, however long it's been since, even before he started filming it. I think it was when he was writing it. And the thing that just made me incredibly confident in this project, is this one thing he put out in describing his Superman, right? And the description of his Superman was this. He said, Superman is a person that believes in kindness in a world that thinks kindness is antiquated. And that's constantly popped up in every description, every time he's talked about the character. Matter of fact, in the official synopsis from the movie, that is like one of the first things that is stated in it. And I'm like, I'm sold. Because he understands this character, he gets this character. Superman is a character who is not a fucking psychopath, who is dropping buildings on people, like Zack Snyder's Superman, who's just a murderer, who's a fucking mope, Superman is supposed to be the character who tells you it's going to be okay. He puts his hand on his shoulder and comforts you and says, and even if the situation is dire, even if it is incredibly dangerous and all seems lost, he's like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to protect you, because that's what he does. He's a man. He's a person who believes in the good of humankind, right? And I think that's what we need more than anything right now. There's just so many comics and stories and adaptations of Superman, whether it be Christopher Reeve or Superman the Animated Series or Superman and Lois most recently, that have showcased that. Like, that is what Superman is. But it has been a significantly long time since we had a theatrical Superman. I'm not saying like we haven't had great Superman since then. We absolutely have. No doubt. On television and animation, also, My Adventure Superman has been fantastic. Like, those writers, those creators, they know the character. But it has been decades since we've had a theatrical Superman who represents those things, that is defined by those things. And based on everything that he has said, it has just made me more and more and more confident and more excited for this project. And, of course, there were several things that were revealed recently. Obviously, this poster, which I think looks very beautiful, reminds me of Alex Ross. It looks like an Alex Ross like artwork. I think it looks beautiful. And the simple phrase of "look up," I think is perfect to describe this movie. Like, it reminds me of the original 78 Superman poster. Well, you will believe a man can fly, right? And it just inspires hope, right? And I think the poster, it's very simple, but it shows you everything I think this movie is going to be. And of course, the other thing that was revealed was the theme, or at least a sample of the Superman theme. And I'm going to tell you what right now. I mean, they got me as soon as they started. Basically, they're doing a cover of the John Williams Superman theme, which I think is perfect. It's brilliant, because that theme is just iconic. It is what I think a lot of people associate with Superman. It's almost like the James Bond theme. They're like bum ba dun 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 dun. It's like you would make a huge mistake to not include the James Bond theme with a James Bond movie. You'd be a fucking moron. And so the fact that they are paying homage to that, the fact that they're doing their own version of it, I think is very smart. And so I want to play a little bit of that theme and show you just like, how beautiful it sounds. I'm going to bring that up right here. Yes. This right here. It's like about 56 seconds of it. I'm going to show this off to you guys right now. And at first you're like, wait, is he sampling? Is this the cover of the John Williams theme? And you really hear it in the latter half here. Yeah, this part. And I was like, here we go. And, I love the original John Williams Superman theme. It's one of the most iconic themes associated with really any character, any superhero out there. Certainly one of the most iconic themes and scores of the 1970s. And the fact that they're leaning into that. Again, it just goes to show you that what James Gunn and I think his collaborators want to do, they want to just emphasize that this Superman is meant to be a character that inspires hope, that shows that kindness is not a weakness, that it is a wonderful attribute that more people should have. And I think that is just a very beautiful thing. And we'll eventually see it with the final movie, but I have literally no concerns about this film. If anything, my excitement just grows, and we're gonna see a lot of it this upcoming week, this Thursday, where they're going to reveal the first trailer, I guess the teaser trailer for it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I can't wait. The theatrical introduction to James Gunn's and Peter Safran's DC cinematic universe. But what about you guys? What do you think of the poster? Which I think very, very beautiful looking, very Alex Ross inspired. What do you think of James Gunn's comments in terms of what he wants Superman to be for people, for his universe? And what do you think of the theme? I'm very curious to know. What about you, chap? Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. No city, no destroying city or smashing cities or neck breaking. No. I mean, there's some fans out there that want that, but I don't think we're gonna get that. Thank God. We had that for a fucking decade. Had to suffer for a decade watching that, the complete bastardization of this character, and now we're hopefully returning to form. Apparently, a source of inspiration Gunn had for the film was Top Gun Maverick, which sounds like for the flight sequences. Oh, if he's gonna do that for the flight sequences, then that sounds awesome. That sounds amazing. Because I love Top Gun Maverick. Maverick was an amazing movie. He's the Boy Scout, as he should be. Making him anything but that is a huge mistake, and well, we've seen that mistake. At least Snyder Superman makes a good. Yeah, no, I mean, if you need him to like murder some people or like mow down a city, he can do it easily. He can do it like that, no doubt. We saw that. I love the Transformers Suicide Squad. There's definitely some unintentionally funny moments in that movie. Heart of Man says, "Hope this is good." Me too. We love him poster. I mean, the only thing I'm gonna say about the poster, I think it's nice. It looks like an Alex Ross like artwork piece, like a painting. Like everything else is just coming from like what James Gunn has described about the movie, But it's because you saying it. It's so good. By the way, Trey and I recently also watched. We watched half of Superman 78 because she had never seen it before, and we got to finish the second half. But like rewatching that movie, it's just like, man, it really is a special film. And now the part that always gets me to this day about that movie is you have this wonderful sequence where this is after the Kents have been raising him, and now he's a teenager and he can't play football and stuff. But then you see this incredible showcase of all of his abilities and powers. Like when he kicks the football, it goes like a fucking mile. He literally outruns a train, faster than a locomotive, right? And he just shows wow, he has all these amazing abilities. And you have this scene where his dad is just talking to him, trying to tell him something very important, and Clark is listening very intently, but then I think he's distracted by something, and then suddenly Jonathan Kent has a heart attack, right, and he dies. And Clark is panicking because there's nothing he can do. And that's what's brilliant about it. That's how you humanize this character, is that despite all the amazing abilities that Clark has, that Kal-El has, that Superman has, literal physics defying stuff, he can't save his father. Which is such an emotional, beautiful moment, and I was like, man, they really understood the character back in the 70s. Gives you chills, 100% gives you chills. That was great, especially looking forward to this movie too. You mean Superman is not a murderer? I know, right? Someone tell Zack Snyder that. I hope it's good, but I'm currently in no hurry to see the movie. The theme sounds relaxing, though. Briefly remind me of Gladiator, Saw, and Honor. I'm sure. And so, yeah, they got that with James Gunn. Nice. Poster looks great. The music gives me Halo vibe. Oh, sure, I can see that. If you need a Superman to blow up a Sears. Yeah, if you need a Superman to blow up a Sears or an IHOP, right, or to not save his dad from a fucking tornado, Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill's your man. He got you. He got you covered, baby. He got you covered. Which got Superman 2? I mean, the Donner cut's probably the best one. Superman 2, it's I like Superman 2. It gets a little weird. But I like Superman 2. We haven't had a good theatrical Superman movie since 1981. So, it brings a ton of emotion and feeling. I mean, that's what I feel like it probably will. Because a lot of people what I've seen with some people is that they've criticized Gunn because, well, he only, it's all about his sense of humor and stuff, but I'm in all of his, especially the Guardians movies, and especially the third one, which is the darkest of them. When he wants to make you cry, when he wants to focus on an emotional scene, he nails it. And just look at the stuff they do with Rocket and his friends and his family and how that happens. I fucking had an emotional reaction to a CGI animal. All right? Seeing his friends butchered by a psychopath, right? From Layla to Teeths to Flyer, all of them just killed and him losing it. And that wail that he gave out, I was like, oh my God, it killed me. And it made me very water-eyed. And I'm he is fully capable of delivering. I believe he is fully capable. We'll see it. I mean, I don't know for certain, but I feel like he has the ability and is fully capable of delivering that. And even watching, rewatching The Suicide Squad, it has those emotional moments in the movie, that are very satisfying. That movie is just fucking great. It's the best of the DCEU era, which, by the way, it's pretty much most of it's canon to the DCU, which I love. Because Creature Commandos acknowledges all of it. They acknowledge that. They acknowledge Peacemaker and stuff. So James Gunn basically said, yeah, none of that's canon except my stuff. which is a very gangster move. I love that move. He's yeah, there's that stuff. It can burn a fucking fire. But my stuff, that's the majority of it, that's canon. I'm oh, that's wonderful. So he only said certain things aren't canon. That the Justice League showing up in the end of Peacemaker's yeah, it didn't happen. But everything else happened. Suicide Squad, it's yeah, all of that happened. Maybe there'll be one or two things where you'll have to fudge details, but I think that's pretty cool. So I'm yeah, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So I'm very excited for this. It just looks great. It's just it sucks. It sucks that we had to suffer for 10 years, and be delivered such an inferior version of this character. And just see them bastardized for so long, and really have that character, Superman, ruined for an entire generation of people. Because people I think there's a lot of people that think of Superman in the way that Zack Snyder presented him. And that to me is really sad. It's really, really sad. And so now that we're going to get a return to form, hopefully, it's great. So it's all right. Let's go. The movie might also sadly be affected, though, by what came before. Because people's perception of Superman has been warped because of what we got. But I'm only, but I do hope he can deliver something great, which I believe he can. You know, I'm hoping he can. But in any case, I think this looks great. Looks really cool. Superman really needs to blow up all them Denny's. Got to get rid of all them Denny's, those Sears. Well, Sears is gone. He took care of that. Don't worry, chap. Henry Cavill, he killed all those Sears. And then other kryptonite waiting on hold while the customer service music plays. Oh, my Lord. KC. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Like Frank's death, emotional, and Rat Kitchen, how amazing they wrote the character. Yeah, all that's very good. Especially with her father and things. And, like, Bloodsport's arc. It's very well done. Yeah. So, Chris, do you think Wonder Woman will be recast? 100%. Absolutely. I recast her. Gal Gadot is a terrible actor. I would be like, we're gonna recast her. Listen, when Gal Gadot was like the one, I'll say this, I'll be nice. The first Wonder Woman movie is really good. It's one of the better DCEU films, right? And I feel like Gal Gadot is at her best when she's interacting with Chris Pine. They have very good chemistry. They're very good. And then you have the third act of that movie, which feels like Zack Snyder just fucking literally just pushed, yeeted, Spartan kicked Patty Jenkins out of the room. You know, and down in that fucking pit so he can make it that CGI clusterfuck that it was in the end of the film. But the first 2/3 of that film, and there was some, like, maybe, like, my biggest criticism outside the third act, which is not very good, is there were some supporting performances that were, like, kind of, like, whatever. And, like, the villains were so forgettable. But, like, in those first 2/3, it worked more than it did. I was like, this is really solid. This is really good. And then in Wonder Woman 84 was, you know, it was what it was. But yeah, I would 100% recast Gal Gadot. You throw a rock into a goddamn crowd of random people, you're gonna fucking hit a better actor than Gal Gadot. Okay, you can easily pick anyone out of a hat. It'll be better than Gal Gadot. Depp, my stuff is canned. James Gunn, Snyder fan, Screeching, Nicky Hurley, like one of the things. So, yeah, 100%. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my series is gone now. Thanks, Superman. He just destroyed it, man. He had to destroy it. Peacemaker, what a joke. Dies. Yeah, he dies. Yeah, great moment. Paige Jenkins was responsible for Wonder Woman 84. Pepper Try. I remember that. Yeah, I know. It was rough. Yeah. I was jazzed for that film. I was into it, and then it's like, yeah, they really. I don't know why they like made Wonder Woman a rapist. That was a choice. That was like, That was something, all right. Woman 84 was so bad set up here to be a criminal. Yeah, it is. I to this day, I'm just like, do you not see like why this is problematic? Like at all? Like it was mind-boggling. I was like, couldn't believe it. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. All right, so what trailers are we going to react to? What do you guys got for me? What do you guys got? Oh, yeah, we got that Karate Kid. I haven't seen this yet. Let's go ahead and write Wonder Woman's superhero. So, yeah, she kind of is. And it's so funny because there's literally like this recurring sex pest, this recurring like would-be rapist in the movie who like appears twice, and it's so fucking weird. When it shows, I was like, what? What about this? Take care of this guy. One of them was like, whatever.